The Baltimore Ravens' loss to the Kansas City Chiefs wasn't just another defeat. It felt like a collapse. A meltdown of execution, preparation, and above all, identity. From the very first whistle, it was clear this team wasn't mentally ready to face the Chiefs. And if we're being honest, it's like they never are. They've lost to Kansas City before, sure, but this one felt different. It felt worse. Because this time, it seemed like Baltimore beat themselves just as much as Kansas City did. The game started off with promise. That opening drive was smooth. The Ravens marched down the field with balance, a strong run game, short passing, rhythm, pace. It looked like they had finally figured out the formula to keep up with Mahomes. For a moment, it felt like we were watching a team ready to go blow for blow. But it was all smoke and mirrors. That first drive? Fool's gold. Because from there on out, it was a masterclass in unraveling. The same issues that have haunted this team for years showed up again, only this time on national display. Baltimore went away from everything that worked. Literally. The run game? Abandoned. The short passes that kept them moving? Scrapped. The offensive rhythm that had the Chiefs on their heels? Gone. Instead, we got another round of baffling situational play calling and an offense that looked more confused than confident. And yeah, Todd Monken deserves some heat for that. He's done a lot of good things for this offense since taking over. But when the moments matter most, third and short, red zone trips, key downs, something always goes wrong. Let's talk about that 3rd and 1 deep in the red zone. Derrick Henry had just picked up 2 solid runs. You've got one of the most powerful backs in the league. It's 3rd and 1. And what do the Ravens do? They line up in shotgun with Henry off the field. Are you kidding me? That alone sums up the frustration. It's like they sabotage themselves before the play even starts. And what's wild is that it's not even new. You could take that exact scenario and drop it into any number of games from the last 2 years. Same mistakes, different Sunday. Then there's the interception. Lamar Jackson, under pressure, gets blitzed again and tries to get it to Mark Andrews. But the throw is undercut and picked off easily. Could he have looked left and hit Isaiah Likely, who was open? Sure. But when you're constantly under fire, those clean reads disappear. And as if that wasn't enough, the second turnover was even more brutal. Lamar fumbles, not from a strip sack, not from a big hit, but from his own guy, Tyler Linderbaum. That kind of play, that's not just bad luck. That's a team falling apart at the seams. Now, to be clear, Lamar didn't have a good game. And he'd probably be the first to say that. But the problems are deeper than him. It's the whole offense. It's the lack of identity when the game plan gets tested. It's the mental collapse when things don't go perfectly. And when your quarterback starts throwing the ball away on 4th and 2, that tells you everything you need to know about where the team is mentally. They're not locked in. They're not confident. They're hoping something works instead of knowing it will. Cooper Rush came in after Lamar's hamstring injury. But at that point, the game was already slipping. There was no momentum, no direction. It was just damage control. And even with all the criticism that can be pointed at Monken, we can't pretend John Harbaugh is off the hook either. In fact, if Monken really strayed from the game plan, as Harbaugh suggested in his presser, then where was the accountability in game? You're the head coach. You're supposed to step in and fix it on the fly. That's the job. If you saw it happening and didn't step in, that's on you just as much. And then there's the most frustrating part, the way the Ravens consistently let Kansas City off the hook. The Chiefs didn't have to play perfect. They didn't need a 400-yard game from Mahomes. They didn't need some insane performance from Kelsey. No, they just had to stay calm and wait for the Ravens to mess it up. And that's what happened, over and over again. Whether it was penalties, delay of game, intentional grounding, false starts, or just poor execution, the Ravens looked like a team imploding under pressure. Even with Derrick Henry, a guy who was running effectively, they only gave him 8 carries. 8. That's not just questionable coaching. That's malpractice. Especially in a game where you needed to control the clock, slow down the Chiefs' offense, and keep your defense off the field. And yet, every time something worked, Baltimore moved away from it. It's like they're allergic to success when it comes to Kansas City. And that mindset, that's on the coaching staff. That's on the leadership. The worst part is that this game wasn't some anomaly. These problems didn't appear out of nowhere. They've been simmering all season long. The Chiefs just exposed it all in one brutal, nationally televised loss. And sure, people will talk about injuries. And yes, losing key players matters. But this team's collapse wasn't just physical. It was mental, it was emotional, and it was systemic. The Ravens didn't just get outplayed. They got outthought, outprepared, outcoached, and maybe even outhearted. There's frustration in the fan base, and rightfully so. This isn't about one bad game. It's about years of the same storylines showing up again and again. It's about talented rosters being wasted because of stubborn decisions and poor adjustments. It's about a team that, despite all its potential, still looks lost when the lights are brightest. Baltimore fans are tired of seeing a team beat itself before the game even starts. And yet, here we are again. Another chapter in the ongoing saga of the Ravens coming up short when it matters most. Another week of questions about coaching, leadership, play calling, and whether this team truly believes it can compete with the best. You watch games like this, and it's hard not to wonder if this team has lost its way, or if it ever found it to begin with. If the offense felt like a mental collapse, then the defense looked like it didn't even show up. Let's not sugarcoat it. This Ravens defense got embarrassed. Patrick Mahomes, who many said hadn't been playing at his best this year, looked like he stepped into a time machine and came out in MVP form. He was picking apart the secondary with ease. No pressure, no fear, just calm, methodical execution. He finished with 270 yards for touchdowns, no interceptions, and barely even broke a sweat. That stat line isn't just about Mahomes being great. It's about the Ravens failing in every single defensive aspect of the game. And the craziest part? The Chiefs didn't even need their stars to go off. Travis Kelce had a quiet game. He finished with 5 catches for under 50 yards. They didn't need him because everyone else was feasting. Xavier Worthy had a career day. Hollywood Brown got in on the action. Juju Smith-Schuster found the end zone. Even guys who hadn't made much noise all season were scoring on this defense like it was nothing. Kansas City just spread the ball around and exposed every hole in the Ravens' scheme. It was surgical. There was zero pass rush. Nothing. It didn't matter how many guys the Ravens sent. 4, 5, 6, even 7. Mahomes had time to throw whenever he wanted. Yeah, technically there were some pressures that might have shown up in the stat sheet. But in real time, it didn't matter. There was no consistent disruption, no collapsing of the pocket, no sense that Mahomes was ever uncomfortable. And when your front 7 can't generate pressure, the secondary is left out to dry, which is exactly what happened. Injuries definitely played a role. Losing Roquan Smith mid-game hurt. Marlon Humphrey went down again. Nate Wiggins, one of the few bright spots this season, also got banged up. But even before all of that, the defense was already getting cooked. Zach Orr's scheme looked lost, and it's starting to feel like he's experimenting more than he's coaching. Why is Adaf Owa dropping into coverage? Why is Mike Green backpedaling instead of rushing? What exactly is the identity of this defense right now? Because it feels like nobody knows. Not the players, not the coaches, and certainly not the fans. What's even worse is the lack of adjustments. It's one thing to get beat early, but when you make 0 changes and just keep doing the same thing, that's a coaching problem. The Ravens' defense gave up 37 points, and it could have been more. If not for a missed field goal, the scoreline would have been even more embarrassing. And honestly, the Chiefs running up the score in the fourth quarter? That wasn't disrespect, it was a statement. They had zero fear of the Ravens. And why would they? Baltimore didn't give them a reason to be concerned. Missed tackles, blown assignments, wide open running backs in the flats. It was all on display. This defense wasn't just outplayed, they were outclassed. And as much as Harbaugh defended Zach Orr in his press conference, saying the defense is close, it feels like he's watching a completely different game. Because close isn't 37 points. Close isn't letting every other drive end in a touchdown. Close isn't letting Mahomes toy with your entire defense for 4 quarters. Even special teams felt the ripple effects of the defensive disaster. Tyler Lew did his job. He hit his field goals and extra points. That's great. But when your opponent never punts, literally never needs to use their punter, then what does that say about your defense? The Chiefs' punter probably could have stayed in the locker room. He was never needed. And for a team like Baltimore that prides itself on toughness and discipline, that's embarrassing. And all of this continues to point back to one thing: coaching. This team looks unprepared, unmotivated, uninspired. It's not just about X's and O's. It's about effort, it's about pride, and it's about leadership. Right now, there's a growing feeling that John Harbaugh's message just isn't hitting the same way anymore. The trust seems fractured. Whether it's the questionable personnel decisions, the lack of in-game adjustments, or the blame shifting during press conferences, something feels off. And fans are starting to ask serious questions about whether he's lost the locker room. It's not like this is a sudden fall. These issues have been brewing. And now, with every loss, with every blown coverage, with every underwhelming offensive drive, the pressure continues to mount. The criticism is louder, and the excuses are wearing thin. Harbaugh defending, or while throwing Monken under the bus, only added more fuel to the fire. And while Monken has his flaws, particularly in situational play calling, the offense has at least shown growth. The defense, on the other hand, has looked like a disaster from the start. Lamar Jackson, for all his talent, is being failed by the system around him. He's playing under constant pressure, his weapons are inconsistent, and the coaching decisions around him often put him in no-win situations. We're seeing the same breakdowns, the same mental mistakes, and the same lack of identity week after week. And now fans are saying out loud what they've been thinking for a while. Maybe it's time for something drastic. Maybe it's time to stop patching holes and start fresh. Talks about a rebuild are getting louder. Not just a roster rebuild, but a complete overhaul of the coaching staff. Because you can't keep watching the same problems unfold and expect different results. And if the Ravens don't take a hard look at themselves, then this won't be the last time we're talking about a rock-bottom performance. It'll just be the latest in a series of disappointments. Baltimore has talent. That's not the issue. But talent without direction is useless. And right now, this team is lost. Whether it's Harbaugh's message getting stale, or being in over his head, or Monken not being trusted to fully run the show, the leadership structure feels broken. And it's only a matter of time before the locker room starts to show it more publicly. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support keeps us bringing you the latest news on the Baltimore Ravens. And hey, drop your take in the comments below. We want to hear from the flock. In what could be the most electrifying move of the season, rumors are swirling that the Baltimore Ravens have officially closed a deal for none other than superstar pass rusher Chase Young. Sources close to the team suggest that the defensive phenom, known for his relentless pursuit of quarterbacks and game-changing sacks, will don the purple and black in the upcoming season. The news has sent shockwaves through the NFL, with fans and analysts alike scrambling to assess the potential chaos this move could unleash on opposing offenses. Chase Young, a player whose mere presence can alter game plans, is rumored to be the final piece in Baltimore's defensive puzzle. While the Ravens have long been a formidable force, insiders claim that the addition of Young elevates them into a near-unbeatable tier, particularly against teams that rely heavily on the passing game. The whispers are that coordinators across the league are already sweating over how to scheme around a line now potentially dominated by Young's speed, strength, and uncanny ability to read quarterbacks before the snap. Though Baltimore has traditionally boasted a balanced roster, the acquisition of Young signals a new level of aggression. Sources suggest the front office views this as an opportunity to send a clear message: mess with our quarterback, and chaos ensues. Rivals are reportedly reworking offensive strategies late into the night, trying to imagine ways to protect their signals from what could be the league's most feared edge rusher. Some insiders even speculate that entire offensive game plans may need to be scrapped in Baltimore matchups. Fans are buzzing with anticipation, and social media is ablaze with speculation. Jerseys bearing Young's name are reportedly flying off shelves even before his debut in purple. While the move is not yet confirmed in full detail, the sheer excitement it's generating is undeniable. One thing seems certain: wherever Chase Young goes, panic follows, and Baltimore appears poised to turn every Sunday into a defensive nightmare for their opponents. If the rumors hold true, the Ravens may have just orchestrated one of the most audacious and game-altering acquisitions of the decade. As the league braces for impact, one question lingers in the air. Can any offense survive the fury of Baltimore with Chase Young leading the charge? That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay in the loop with exclusive news on our Baltimore Ravens, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what the flock thinks. Drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.